Welcome back to Cooking with Love, and today we will be making beef stroganoff along with some spinach and roasted tomatoes. And for this dish, we will need a few ingredients, which will be some fresh mushrooms, some extra wide egg noodles, some beef stock. We'll need some cherry tomatoes, also some cloves of garlic, an onion, a lemon. We'll also need Dijon mustard along with Worcestershire sauce. We'll need butter. We'll need sour cream. We're also going to need some heavy cream. Okay, we're going to need some cornstarch, a little bit of flour, and some dry seasonings. And here we have the sirloin steak, which has been cut into like little slices, and you can cut it to the bite size of your need. And we're going to also be making some spinach, which is some fresh spinach, and you'll see in the description box what is required for each of these dishes. So I'm going to lightly season the sirloin with a little salt, a couple shakes, not much, and we're going to also add in some black pepper. Um, and you just want to evenly coat this with the season that you decide that you want to use. And from there, we're going to just add in our next ingredients will be some Worcestershire sauce, which is a sauce I can never say correctly. But we're going to drizzle some of that on the meat, and we're going to marinate that as a seasoning and also as a marinating sauce. Okay, and then we're going to add in some cooking oil. Just a couple drizzle of cooking oil. We're going to just massage that into the meat. And what we're doing with that is that's going to help sear the meat when it's time to fry. I'm adding in some cornstarch, which that works as a protecting layer for the beef. So when it's stir frying, it doesn't release its natural juices. So you allow this to sit for a few, maybe like a half an hour, maybe an hour if you want. I'm not doing that. I'm just adding mine and letting it sit for a few, no more than about 10 minutes before I start to sear. So I'm gonna massage this in, and we're gonna let that sit to the side. Here we have some water in the pot where we're gonna allow that we season with some salt. This is for the noodles, okay? And we also have a pan here for which I will begin to baste with some olive oil and a tablespoon of butter. For sauteing these vegetables, which I have my mushrooms and my onions. And we're going to allow these vegetables to cook until they become wilted. And then we're going to lightly season them of your choice, guys, of your choice. A little seasoned salt or a gourmet seasoning of your choice. We're going to add a little black pepper, okay, and just give it a little kick, okay, just a little, not much, everything on light. We're going to just kind of stir fry this, and we're going to remove it, okay, because we're not trying to cook it completely to done. Just trying to get it to release its natural flavors, okay, and going to add in some fresh garlic. Here I have 4 cloves of garlic that I've cut up, which I am going to separate, and I'm going to add at least 2 cloves to this dish, okay? And we add it at the end because we just want it to release its natural flavors, because we don't want it to burn or change the taste of this dish, of any dish, okay? So, garlic has to be cooked, but not to the point where if it cooks too much, it burns or scorches. It wouldn't. It just would destroy everything. So now we're gonna remove these vegetables, and the pan. We're gonna use the same pan that we remove the vegetables. Here I about to remove the noodles, and we're gonna rinse them off in cold water and let them sit. Here I'm gonna also start to layer the meat into the pan, which I'm going to allow to sear. And I'm going to let that turn the heat on the fire on your stove to medium high, because we're trying to give it a nice coating. Remember, we put the oil on the meat as we put the cornstarch. which allowing this to sear. Okay, excuse me. So we're going to give it a couple turns. We're also going to let it sit for a minute so it can texturize. All right. So when you find that you see that your meat is a medium, like a medium rare, you're gonna then start adding in our next items, because we don't want it to be fully cooked, or it will be cooked completely, but we want to add in our next ingredients for everything to cook evenly. Okay. Okay guys, so I would like to add in 1 tablespoon of flour for a thickener that is going to help bond this broth to the pasta that's going to be incorporated into this dish. And as we finish giving it a couple stirs, making sure everything is evenly coated, we're going to be adding in some beef broth, and we're going to be adding approximately 2 cups of beef broth. Okay, and this is going to help bond the sauce that you're going to need for when you add your noodles. Okay, so you're going to bring this to a boil. I mean, you're going to let this simmer. Okay, and then you're going to be adding in some heavy cream, which I have like 1 cup. That's complete, like that's a 1 cup. That's like 1 cup of cream, heavy cream. Okay, and then we're going to be also adding in a tablespoon and a half of sour cream, and we're going to mix that. Okay, we're going to let that kind of break down. We're going to add in some honey Dijon mustard. Okay, I'm only going to put a tablespoon in. We're going to put some Worcester sauce. We're going to put a couple shakes of that in there. All right, and that's going to give it that beefy, steaky taste. I love it. It tastes great. We're going to lightly season it. Okay, make sure you taste your food. Always taste your food. It's very important that you know what your food tastes like. Putting a little spice blend, a little black pepper, you know, and we're gonna just give it a couple stirs and let it come. It's kind of like simmer. All right, I'm gonna add in just a little bit more heat. I like heat. You don't have to. This is optional. A little crushed pepper. And give it a taste test, guys. Find out where you are in your seasoning part of this dish, and if you need more, you can always add more. This is why I always say lightly season. Okay, so as you see here, I have the egg noodles. I'm going to be placing on top of the sauce that we created, and I'm going to continue to fold the sauce over the noodles until they are fully saturated. And if you find that you need to add some more beef broth, feel free to do so. Make the adjustment that you need. Okay, because as this cooks, the pasta will absorb that sauce, that liquid. Okay, so it's not going to be a runny sauce on this dish. But you make that adjustment if you need. I'm not going to add any more. Pretty much this is going to be enough. How I choose to serve this dish. But if you find that you just want to add a little bit more, you're welcome to, and it's safe to. It's not going to harm the dish. Okay, so I'm going to be adding in some dry herbs, which I have a pasta herb that has basil, fresh thyme, oregano, and some parsley. And you guys, for those who just now coming on, watching my channel, thank you, and feel free to subscribe, make a comment, and share my video. Press that like button, and I hope the guys are following me on my next video. So here I'm going to be adding some fresh herb, which is the thyme. And I'll just add that at the end for my top garnish, okay? And that will be it for this dish. Okay. So guys, this was amazing to make, and it's going to taste wonderful. And as you see, it looks delicious. So for our wonderful side dish, I'll be making some fresh spinach with spring roasted plum tomatoes. And here I have a wok, which I'll be sauteing with some avocado oil. And it's great on sauteing and high heating components due to it has a tolerance of not burning. I'm going to be adding here some butter. And I'm going to be adding some fresh garlic. That was the 2 cloves of garlic added to this dish. And I'm just going to saute this. I'm going to turn that heat down just a little. And I'm just going to let that kind of like release its natural flavors. And I'm going to just start adding the spinach. And we're going to start stacking it into the wok. And you'll see that is a lot, but it really isn't, because it's really going to wilt down. The spinach really breaks down fast. So we're going to just kind of stack this wok with all the spinach that we have, which I have 2 bags. You feel free to, you can, one is good enough for you, that's fine. But you'll find that it's really not a lot. I'm going to lightly season this with a little salt. Okay, lightly season it. I'm going to add some black pepper. Okay, I'm just going to give it a couple shakes, You don't want to add too much to the spinach because you really don't want to take away of its natural taste. So I'm going to squeeze some lemon over the spinach, which will help release its natural nutrients. So you get the maximum nutrients that it's supposed to give. It's going to give it a beautiful taste as well. And from here, we're going to give it a couple tosses, and then we're going to just allow it to wilt down. And we're not going to overcook this because we don't want to lose the nutrients of the spinach. So we're just going to put a top over it and let it cook for no more than about 10 to 15 minutes. Soon after, turn off the heat and remove from the stove to stop this cooking process. And as this finished cooking, we're going to move on to our next, which will be our top garnish, which will be some sweet cherry tomatoes. And we're going to roast them on top of the stove. What you want to do is slice these tomatoes in half, along with some garlic, and we're going to lightly season with a little salt, and we're going to add some pepper as well. We're going to keep that on a light season because we don't want to change the taste of the tomatoes. They have a sweet taste at this point, and it's gonna the salt just kind of helps release the natural sweetness in the tomatoes. And we're just gonna turn these tomatoes downward so they can get a char. And we're gonna just kind of leave them in there for about 3 to 5 minutes, and we're gonna try to rotate them on each side till we get a good nice char of what we're looking for. And you can see what you want. We're not trying to burn them, but we're just trying to get them to break down a little bit, and then we're going to remove them. So as I finish up here, guys, I would like to thank you guys for tuning in and checking out my channel. And feel free to subscribe for those who are just coming on. And subscribe, like, and share, and make a comment to this page. You guys have been wonderful. And thank you for your support. And don't forget to press that like button. So we have our beef stroganoff with our spinach with our roasted cherry tomatoes. Thank you, and see you soon.